Tonight's very special episode of the Sunday Night Talk with me and Omar Carmona is here. It's ready, and wow, are we shot out of a cannon this week. We talk big picture. We talk the Sunday night game, most watchable game, least watchable game, not to mention the full slate. I got a weekly challenge for Omar this week. Special feature after that as well. And of course, the awards. We do all the awards. We get to a lot of stuff this week. I'm going to let you know right now, I'm in a celebratory mood. Oh, yeah, because it's a Sunday Night Talk. We got a lot to talk about. And the Raiders win. I don't want to spoil it, but that's what's going on. Hey, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, if you're new to the Running It Back Network, please give it a subscribe on the YouTube channel. I've got other shows on there. I've got opening scenes. I've got stand-up clips, not to mention my long-form interviews as well. But right now, it's time for the Sunday Night Talk. Are you ready? Are you ready for Christmas? How did you handle all these games? Well, don't worry, because me and Omar are going to talk about it right now. All right, it is Sunday night. It is 9:01 West Coast time. Omar Carmona joins me from the man cave. He is festive tonight. This has been a wild Sunday.
Ask me about these, Pat.
All right, well, let's start off. What's going on with those, Omar? You're wearing some sort of dark shaded glasses this week.
I'm looking down the road. I'm looking and into the future, and it is very, very bright with Brock Purdy.
Oh my God. Wow, you are in a good mood. You have some sort of festive sweater on. You're wearing shades indoors. You almost look like the Unabomber. You look like a very festive Unabomber.
I can finally write off Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, wow. Wow. Half of your good mood is just the demise of Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, I mean, I think this is the rare occasion where both of us can be in a good mood, because I'm in my decorated studio, but not only that, I have my USA headband on because I am here to propose, not a hot take, that I think the Las Vegas Raiders are ready to take the mantle of America's team. Why not? Can you get on board with this?
I can. I mean, well, there's a lot to digest. Are we just going to go into that game? Because I think the ending is worth starting off talking about the Las Vegas Raiders. All right.
Well, I thought we might start with them. So before we do that, let me, as you know, the Raiders got a win today, and I was doing some math, and, we're not out of the playoffs. So I'm going to pour myself some champagne because I think this is reason to celebrate, because we are not dead. And I will continue to pour myself champagne throughout the show. So we're going to start Raiders game.
Raiders game.
All right. So Raiders are New England Patriots at Las Vegas Raiders. Now, if I had told you this game was going to end on possibly the biggest bonehead mistake of a play, and I said, put all your money on Bill Belichick team or Josh McDaniels team, how long would it have taken you to go big Bill Belichick team?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. I mean, this bonehead end had Raiders written all over it. And you know what? And it was almost a boneheaded Raiders end, right? I mean, it was another double-digit lead squandered by the Vegas Raiders.
It was, like you said, it was 17-3, and like they were going to go in or they were going to get another score. And I was like, oh, it's going to be 20-3. Wait, why does this sound familiar?
Right.
And then I almost blame my dad, because my dad texts me, Raiders are looking good. And I'm like, oh, great. Kiss of death. That's it.
Right.
They're going to lose now. Raiders are up. They forget to show up for the third quarter, as usual, as they've done all year long. They don't score any points into the third quarter, some into the fourth quarter. I think they had 13 penalties. Hollins is all of a sudden dropping balls. Devontae Adams, they're showing the stat where Devontae Adams has 4 catches. I'm like, oh great, we're gonna talk about this when the game's over. All of a sudden the Patriots are looking kind of feisty and hot. Mac Jones is throwing the ball all over the place. And then somehow the Raiders get a hold and they get the ball back. They get that touchdown, which I don't think was a touchdown. The video shows his foot is on the white. I mean, we can debate that. And then somehow we have the craziest end of a game that have you ever seen a crazier end to a game?
Well, let's talk about on the boneheaded scale. Fair to say we haven't seen a boneheaded play like this since the butt fumble, maybe.
Butt fumble. I think we can go across sports here. I think we could go Chris Webber timeout. That was not a timeout.
Okay, and see the thing is, what was the difference with the butt fumble? I think it's worse. The game didn't end with the butt fumble, and also the Patriots weren't going to lose that game to the Jets, okay, on a Thursday Thanksgiving night. So it's not like that really made the difference. This ended a game. This is a division race where I think the best division record is that AFC East. It's just crazy that it ended that way.
And you think crazy endings, like remember 6 weeks ago when the Raiders were in overtime with the Arizona Cardinals and Renfro's going for some extra yards, fumbles the ball, and the Cardinals get the fumble, scoop it up, score a touchdown, walk off touchdown win. So I almost feel like this was some sort of sick karma justice for that. But like this was just bonehead beyond bonehead because they're going into overtime.
Right.
They're going into overtime.
They didn't need those extra yards. And I thought it was actually a brilliant play call, the draw, right? Because he got some good yardage. He breaks a tackle and well, I mean that he had a shot at that run. He really had he
did initially, but he wasn't going to score. But I mean,
he probably was not going to score. But here's the weird thing. The biggest bonehead play, I think, was that running back. The fact that he was the one that did the first lateral.
Yeah, that's true. He started it.
What I think is that the guy, I forget what his name is, the receiver that picked it up, I think he just panicked because he wasn't expecting that ball.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it was
perfectly content with, hey, we got overtime.
It makes no sense because they hand the ball off, so you're like, oh, they're reserved to overtime. Like they're gonna play for overtime. And then the running back
he ends up breaking some tackles, but there's no time left.
The clock says 0. They have no timeouts anyway. And the running back decides to lateral. And it was almost like instinctual. Like, we talk about how these defenders can't lay off the quarterback. It's just instinctual. They have to push them and then they get the penalty. It's almost like when a lateral starts, the instinct is to keep the lateral going. And like his lateral was the final one. Who was that too? Mac Jones was, I froze the screen when he throws that ball across the field. Mac Jones is not even in the picture.
Right. Oh,
so Mac Jones has no time.
You think Mac Jones, though, and I got to see it again, but from my recollection, do you think Mac Jones could have made a better play on the ball? Maybe not to catch it.
No, I don't, because I rewatched it 10 times. And the guy throws it, and Mac Jones is so far away that he doesn't react initially. And he's like, where's that ball going? Oh, that's coming to me. Right. And then the guy is reaching for it. And before he catches it, Mac Jones is setting up to tackle him, but he's too far away and he doesn't have an angle and he just gets run over. Like there's nothing Mac Jones could do. And even if he did, say Mac Jones batted the ball, that's a live ball. That's not an incomplete pass or anything. That's a live ball. And there's like 3 Raiders there. So they would have scooped and scored even if that ball hit the ground. It is brutal that's how it went down. It is horrendous that's a Bill Belichick team.
Hats off to Chandler Jones because that was
Chandler Jones, my new hero.
That was a ball that could have been dropped. It was that wide open to him. You know what I mean? Like
right.
I mean that, and in the situation, I could see him like as the ball's coming, I could see him maybe taking a look at Mac Jones, and
Right.
so that could have caused the problem, in and of itself. But
Right.
the fact
It
that
was it was like so quick that his instinct was catch it and
at
go.
that angle to make that catch, the ball coming from that angle in that situation, I was really impressed with how heads up it was.
Yeah,
And
he
and instead of trying to build another angle, he saw the best angle was straight through Mac Jones.
yes. Yeah. Straight
Okay.
through. It's like he got the
Obvious.
ball and he knew I got to get through Mac Jones and we win. And guess what? I'm going through this dude.
Yeah. Okay. Now here I got to bring you down, Pat. I hate to bring you're drinking champagne. You got your headband on. You got your
America's team.
yeah. You got your Raiders. Obviously, that Chandler Jones play was not the result of good coaching, right?
By the Raiders?
By the Raiders. That was a very good player being at the right place at the right time, not coaching. Okay. You don't prepare a play like that.
Right.
How confident are you, even though you get the win today, in Josh McDaniels?
Still not confident, but like with all this like late season going on, it's almost like it's worse to be good right now. Like with the Cowboys. Like if the Cowboys were winning all the time, I would almost bet they're going to lose in the first round. The fact that they're losing now, I have more confidence in them. Same with the Bucks. It's like, okay, yeah, they're reeling, but like that's a misnomer. That's a trick. Every team that's bad or that like we think is like losing their edge is going to be good in the playoffs. So I think Josh McDaniels can get us. And let's not go crazy, not a playoff win, but with a little luck, we could get to the playoffs. Like there's some weapons here. So I think there's some reason to be confident. He still hasn't figured out how to roll up his sleeves. You would think a Bill Belichick disciple would figure out that how to cut off his sleeves.
Sure.
But yet he wears 2 long sleeve shirts and just rolls up the sleeves of the outside one. So not confident, but we're building. We're building. Like the stock market has been down all year, but every once in a while we have a good week. And that's where I think Josh McDaniels, he's a recession coach.
Okay.
So, okay, now let's talk about the touchdown that got us to a tie score. This touchdown to Kenneth Cole Jr. or something. I don't know who this guy is.
Keelan Cole.
Keelan Cole. Carr throws his touchdown. And I have this in my other notes too from the Washington game. It seems like every trailing team will get a last possession. I don't know how it works out, but every trailing team gets one more shot. Even if they go 3 and out, they're like, no, there's enough time. They'll punt the ball and they'll get the ball back. So they get the ball back. Carr starts driving the Raiders offense down. They get to a 4th and 10 and they throw a comeback route to Hollins. Catch. Great. They run the same play. Catch. Great. Then they run some out of bounds play. Carr throws it away. Then they throw the bomb to this Cole guy. And we're like, touchdown, tie score. They show the replay. I don't know what it looked to you. That left foot looked like it touched White.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I'm like, oh, okay, they didn't get the touchdown. Bummer. It's going to be 2nd down. It's going to be 3rd down. And then they're having this long conversation, and Derek Carr does this on the sidelines. And I'm like, touchdown? Could it be? How could this be? I mean, it looks like his foot's on the White. And there's only one angle, but it looks like a visible angle. And the referee goes, call on the field stands.
Yeah.
What video are they watching?
Crazy.
What is going on there?
I do not know.
I don't know either. And I don't think we've heard the end of this. It gets muddled because of the way the game ended. But that left foot looked like it was touching White. The only thing I could figure out was there were 2 shades of white in that end zone. There was the white and then it goes to gray. And all I could think was like, well, maybe the first white, like the intermediate rough is in bounds. And maybe the second part that makes no sense. I'm totally drawing at straws thinking of that. But the only thing I can think of is the referee says, well, it's close. What did I call on the field? Touchdown? Right. Well, I don't want to look like I have egg on my face. Let's keep it a touchdown. And then to put on top of that, they are running promos all game long about how the Raiders are going to play the Steelers next week. And they keep playing the Immaculate,
Immaculate
reception.
reception.
And I'm like, this is the same shit. This has got to be some sort of weird NFL karma thing where now the Raiders get a touchdown that should be called back,
50
much
years,
like the
50 years
Immaculate
later,
reception.
50 years later. And that's going to be another thing I was going to ask. Let's end this game on this note. By next week, we got to think of a name for the play. Butt fumble, immaculate reception. I can't think of a name because it really wasn't a fumble, but
for this one,
an interception. It's just like, no.
What about the Immaculate exception? Can we keep with the Immaculate something?
How about the incompetent? Or let's do the incompetent reception. I don't know, something.
Yep, that's good. If the Raiders get on a playoff run, for sure, this has got to be something. Or maybe we'll work on something with the lateral.
It seems like the Raiders finally caught the break on one of these infamous, immaculate reception, the tuck rule. It just seems they finally caught a break on this one.
And it was really weird because Jacobs does not have a great game. Devontae Adams does not have a great game. I don't know how the Raiders really are scoring points at some point. So it was a very odd game, and somehow they pull it off. It is the strangest thing. So I did some looking up. For the Raiders to make the playoffs, they have to win out. However, they're going to need help. But going into today's game, the Raiders had a 3% chance of making the playoffs. They beat the Patriots.
Crazy.
So now that is up to 7%. We're at 7% chance of making the playoffs. They play the Steelers next week. If they beat the Steelers, they will have a 14% chance. After that game, they play your 49ers, which maybe the 49ers already clinched the division. Maybe they're not taking this game seriously. Maybe they sit McCaffrey. Maybe they sit Purdy. So say they win that game. Now we're up to a 30% chance. And the final game, they play the Chiefs. Chiefs don't have a reason to play hard in this game. Maybe they sit Mahomes. If they win that game, now their chances are up to 66%. So all I'm saying is, Carmona, there's a path. There's a path to the playoffs. The season starts now. America's team, the Las Vegas Raiders, have a shot. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I'll go with you. They have a shot.
So that was that game. I almost disowned my dad for jinxing it with the text saying the Raiders look good. But they won. They somehow won. And I got to tell you, we've had some bad luck losses. Jacksonville, Arizona, Kansas City. And finally, luck comes our way. Because if that game had went into overtime, how confident were you in the Raiders?
No.
Me? 30%.
Right.
It has not been their year in overtime. I think they've been in 4 overtime games this season. I forgot about the Colts, too. They lost that horrible game to the Colts, to Jeff Saturday. So that was the Raiders game. It was the best game of the year. Like I said, they're America's team. So let's move on. I reserve the right to come back to this game.
Okay.
All right, let's talk big picture in the NFL. Here's what I got: some thoughts for big picture, watching all the games, which had a ton of good games, especially early games. So this was a Sunday for comebacks and rules. We had the Raiders catch. We had, I don't know if you saw the Tennessee interception at the end of the half, which sparked a lot of rules debate. We had pass interference, which showed up in tonight's game, and then wide receiver pick plays. Bad. We had the rules were a major role in today's Sunday. So that, I think, we're starting to see rules affect the game. We haven't had a catch debate yet. But if we go Sunday night, let's go straight to Sunday night, which, by the way, this is a good matchup. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm like, Giants Commanders, that's dumb. And I look at the records like, oh, this might be a good game. And then I realized, I think I'm watching these Sunday night games solely for Chris Collinsworth. He
Oh,
is the reason I watch a lot of these games and listen to them.
you're just real into the Collinsworth delivery, you know?
Yeah, do you enjoy him as much as me? Is it just me?
Not as much as you. I enjoy him, but not as much as you.
there were there was a drive in the first half where Daniel Jones he's doing these little runs, he's throwing passes, and Collinsworth goes, the Giants front office has got to make a decision on this guy. Like, it's the first half. Has he done that much?
Right.
So, and I'm also for this idea. You know how John Madden used to have the all Madden team and he would pick his favorite players? What if we had the Chris Collinsworth adoption team where Chris Collinsworth wants to adopt these players and he chooses a team? What about that idea? Couldn't you
That's a great idea. I'd be very interested in that.
Yeah, we got all Madden, but we got Chris Collinsworth adoption team. And he picks his best guys. I would think that would be great. He could do a little 1 minute spiel on every player. I think that'd be awesome. So this game gets going. It comes down to the last drive. And this is how the last drive grows. First of all, we got Heineke makes a run to the goal line. I don't know if you saw this part. He's in the clear, and I thought the wide receiver could have made a block on the guy who crushes Heineke at the one.
Agreed.
Did you see that too?
Yeah, but I think that guy was going to go through anybody to get to Heineke.
Maybe so. Maybe that was the, what do they call that? Business decision. Maybe the receiver was like
decisions, bud.
And then they got Heineke. They get to the one, and then they run it in, and then they have the illegal formation penalty. So now they're on the 6, and then we have the no call for a 4th and goal pass interference. It goes incomplete, and the Giants win the game. And they show it again, and it looks like a pretty clear interference. So,
yeah, I agree.
So the Giants,
and I think now
win.
we are going to be in an age where we're going to get those reviewed now.
I still think we need a replay hostage to come out, and his sole purpose is to watch the replay. He has no idea what the call on the field was. He has no idea what the score is. He may not even know what time it is in the day because we keep him in a dungeon.
Okay.
And he comes out, and he could come out, and we could do the thing where, like, a hostage comes out and he's blinded by the lights, by the sunlight because his eyes, and he could be like, what's going on? What's going on out here? And then they show him the play, and he has to make a call. That's it. And then he goes back to the prison cell. He goes back to the 8x8 cell. So yeah, you could get in with that, right? So Sunday night, Collinsworth loves everybody. He wants the management of the Giants to sign Daniel Jones at halftime. And then I got to say this. Oh, the other one that I left out was a wide receiver pick play where Washington goes for 2 and then they call it back because of the pick play. And Collinsworth almost gets in a bar fight with the rules analyst. Like, we'll talk about this after. I don't know. I was like, let's talk about it now, Collinsworth, on the air.
Yeah.
So we had that play too, and then there was a long play to that receiver Dotson, and Collinsworth just goes. I love it. I love all of it.
I think you're loving it too much.
I love Collinsworth. I love when he gets jacked up. I tell you, he's the sole reason I watch some of these games. And then, of course, Washington gets a last possession. Every trailing team gets a last possession somehow. And then finally, off the beaten path. Have you seen this Tom Cruise commercial where he jumps out of an airplane?
How crazy. I liked it.
Is it real? You think that's real?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's real. I think he's an adrenaline junkie.
I definitely see that. I just can't. It looks so crazy that this 60-year-old man would jump out of an airplane. Somehow the audio is legible. I don't know how they pulled it off, but you say it's real.
I think it's real.
Wow. All right. Maybe it's real. He's like just thanking us for going to see Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Okay. You're going to go with it's real. I'm inclined to think it's real too now.
Okay, go with it.
All right. So the Giants get the win. So let's go to other games. Or before
Cowboys in the clinch the playoffs, even though they look bad right now. Nobody, but if they play like this, no one's going to be scared. No excuse. Your defense allows 34 points in regulation. to the Jaguars if you are a real contender. When you got Micah Parsons and Trevor Lawrence is outplaying you, that's not good for Mr. Dominant, Mr. I'm the best defensive player in football, maybe the best player in football. You got to do better than that, Micah Parsons, all of the Cowboys. I'm coming down hard on the Cowboys this episode, but
Well, I think they deserve it. But you don't subscribe to my theory that it's good to lose right now? You don't think
no, there's some they're in a race where they do had to get had to get these few wins and I think that Prescott's been struggling a little bit, so I think he needed a good showing, and a pick six at the end in overtime, not a good showing.
I had in here, and as soon as I said it out loud, there was the Dak pick six. I was like, Dak's looking pretty good. He went 23 for 30, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, the 2 picks, and somehow he loses the game. I mean, it was a ball that bounced around, but he threw it in some heavy traffic. All right, let me tell you Dallas's losses this year.
Okay, and I'm listening. I'm just going to grab a Sprite, but go on.
Okay, here are Dallas's losses this year: Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, Green Bay, Jacksonville. Besides Philadelphia, those are all horrible teams that they lost to. So I don't know what we make of Dallas other than they lose to bad teams and maybe they just beat the good teams. So maybe that's a good sign for the playoffs.
Well, but the funny thing is when Dallas lost to Tampa Bay, we thought Tampa Bay was a Super Bowl caliber team.
Yeah, so that's a bad loss team.
But that's now a bad loss team. Maybe the Packer loss isn't that great anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's a bad loss team.
But then they smack around Minnesota. That just
killed Minnesota.
That just completed the greatest comeback in NFL history. So I mean, I think it's fair to say I don't know where this season's going, but I do like where these guys are going.
I'm surprised you skipped over your Thursday night win to start with Cowboys Jacksonville.
Well, look, although you're wearing your red, white, and blue America's team headband, there's another team that historically they claim to be the America's team, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. We care about what they say. I think everybody has that team that when your team's not playing, is there a game that you're kind of peeking at? And I'm always peeking at the Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
Does that feel like
I do it too? I do it too. They're football's Kardashians. Like we got to keep tabs on like, what did they say? What did they do? Oh
they really are.
Yeah. Like what a bunch of jerks. Oh, like we love to shit on them. So,
but again, I'm not sold on Mike McCarthy. I think short of Super Bowl. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's Super Bowl or nothing.
In my opinion, Mike McCarthy, if he loses in the NFC Championship game, I think there's a chance he still doesn't come back.
If he loses in the NFC Championship, there's a chance he doesn't come back. Okay.
Even if he makes it, that's not a guarantee.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I agree with that. It's interesting. I listened to an interview with Sean Payton like on Thursday. And, they talk about, are you going to come back to coaching? Like, what do you notice out there? Sean Payton, I think, is becoming the new generation Bill Parcells. He's a little less ornery, but he's still mildly annoyed with every question that gets asked of him. Like, there's the one question where the radio guy asks, is it if you're coming back to an NFL team, do you have to have a franchise quarterback, or do you feel you can work with someone who isn't a franchise quarterback? And like any great Parcells or like difficult coach, he doesn't answer the question. He goes, well, that's not really the question. The question is management. Like he takes it somewhere else that he already wants to talk about. I think he's going to be our new Parcells. So he's coming back, and it's going to be one of these teams where like, he's like, yeah, well, it's me and I can take the team to the next level. And then he can get progressively madder at the media every single week. We saw this with Ditka when he came back to New Orleans. We saw with Parcells when he came back to Dallas. Whenever coaches make that return, it's never good. It's angry. They are angry at things. And I think we're going to see that with Sean Payton. And maybe it's Dallas. Maybe Dallas is the stop.
Gruden. Oh, that was a little too much.
That's right. I still think if the Raiders make the playoffs and they have well, they won't have a home playoff game, but if somehow they make the playoffs, we need Gruden to take them out on the field. We need him back. We need him back on the field somehow, some way.
Oh, cancel culture did away with John Gruden. That he's done.
I say he should come back. He should say fuck it.
He'll never come back. He's done. He's done.
I'm not saying he comes back. I'm saying he just does something ceremonial, like carries the flag out the tunnel.
Even in Raider history, he'll never get a call back.
Oh, I don't like your attitude. Come on,
it was a little much. It was a little much what he said.
He's part of Raiders lore. What he said bad words in an email 10 years ago.
Nah, we'll talk about this off air because I don't want to get into what I believe he said. Okay, moving forward.
All right, fine. Moving forward, Saturday games. We had Saturday games this week in the NFL. This is two of these games were good. Indianapolis at Minnesota, the hugest comeback in NFL history.
Matt Ryan now responsible for the worst Super Bowl comeback, and now responsible for the worst, from a losing team's perspective, but worst game of all time. I mean, it's just. I feel so bad for the guy.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't feel good for the Vikings. I feel bad for the Colts and Matt Ryan. He also looks like he's getting over the flu. He looks so thin.
Yeah.
Our quarter doesn't he look odd?
You know what's crazy?
He's old.
He's old, and I was getting older when he was a rookie. So now I know he's up there. I'm up there. Shit, but. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's up there now, and Colts are going to be looking for a new quarterback at some point, and maybe you even bring back Matt Ryan to mentor a rookie quarterback, in my opinion.
Bad for the Colts, bad for Jeff Saturday. So
bad for Jeff Saturday, especially because he's obviously campaigning to get the full time.
Is he really going to be a candidate for the full time though? This is interim at most.
I don't know. I don't think he should, but
it's fun. It's a fun gimmick, kind of like when a minor league baseball team has little like giveaways or gimmicks to get people in the stands. Like this is fun. Yeah. What do we think about the Vikings though with this comeback? Is this fuel to like launch a late season run?
I was going to talk to you. I was thinking about it, talking to you about okay, you came back. Wow, what a second half, but would you be a little concerned with that? Because they looked lifeless that first
the first half. They look bad, yeah.
And so and that was the Colts. You're not coming again. I'm going to toot these guys. You're not making that comeback against the Niners, guys. You know what I mean? You're not.
Yeah, you came back, but it was against the Colts.
Right. You're not going to make that comeback against the Eagles. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that was just my thoughts on that.
Yeah. With Cousins, like he looks so bad, and then they turned it around at home. They have some great wins. That Buffalo win, this one. Like we have a lot of juggernauts going full speed into the end of the season. Middle game of Saturday, Baltimore at Cleveland. Cleveland wins. Baltimore.
We can talk about that one easy. Ravens just don't have it. Even though their records suggest that they're obviously going to be a playoff team, in my opinion, barring I think a collapse. But they just don't look good, And
they don't.
Obviously, Lamar Jackson, he's their MVP, and I think he's a great quarterback. But it's just aside from Lamar Jackson, what do you have on that team? And I'm not very impressed with them. They don't have that old vaunted Ravens. I'm not saying they have a bad defense, but it's not that Ravens defense that they've had in previous years. So I think they're a team that if they make it, they're going to be one and done.
They're holding up my label of they're a good bad team. Losing to Cleveland. I do like how Cleveland wore a white face mask on Saturday, like very old school. Looks good.
I like it.
I'm a big believer the face mask should match the base color of the helmet, but Cleveland's white face masks look good.
I like it.
Yeah. And in the evening game, the marquee game of Saturday night, Miami at Buffalo, I really thought Miami was going to fade. Like, I thought it was too cold for a Miami team. And they were fucking tough. They
They're
went in
tough.
there. Tua was throwing darts. They're moving around. They're dodging snowballs at one point. They
Yeah.
really, really look good, but they lose. They lose a tough one. Then I was looking at Buffalo's record. Buffalo, I think, has the toughest losses of anybody this
They
season.
do.
They
They
have
do.
tough loss. They lost that Minnesota game. That
Which they
took
should not have lost.
They should not have lost. It took a all-time catch for them to lose that one. They lost that Miami game early in the season. They lost that Jets game that surprised. Those are their only three losses. Those were tough, tough losses. And they're battling. So I think if you were to pick a number one seed going into the playoffs, I think it's Buffalo. Do you think they're number one?
They're number one. And I think they're gonna end the season just fine. Um, uh, Beware. I've been riding high on them all year. I do acknowledge they do have some faults, and sometimes they do some pretty boneheaded things. But I do think talent wise, this is the most balanced, rounded team out there. So they're still my pick to win the Super Bowl. Although I got a contender here that I'm thinking, but we can talk about that later.
Would that contender be your San Francisco 49ers?
My San Francisco 49ers stands Jimmy Garoppolo.
Why are you sidestepping your love of the 49ers? Like, what's it going to take? You're all in on Drew Purdy. You hate Jimmy Garoppolo. What's it going to take for you to get a Drew Purdy jersey? Do they even sell those yet?
Brock Purdy.
Oh, sorry, Brock Purdy. See, I don't know. I'm still catching up. Brock Purdy. It's a better name too, and I keep messing it up. What's it going to take to get a Brock Purdy jersey?
I'm ready. I'm ready to
Oh,
commit.
you're ready.
I'm ready.
Over Deebo Samuel.
Over Deebo Samuel.
Wow, you are a quarterback lover. You're the Chris Collinsworth of El Paso football fans.
Okay.
You love the quarterbacks.
I love the quarterback here. We're gonna. I just believe in this kid. I think he's great. I think that the team will rally around him. And as great a teammate as Jimmy G is, from what other teammates say, I hope he's just gonna rally around Brock and try to just help him prepare. Because Jimmy G has played in big games. So. But I'm big on this team. I love the defense. This is one of our best defenses. And again, I'm going to say since back in those that 94 team, we have not had a defense like this. So I'm excited.
Could you envision a scenario where 49ers get to the NFC Championship game, Brock Purdy drops back, he does like an 8-yard run. He gets a first down, but he tweaks his ankle a little bit. He's not injured that bad, but he has to come out. And who has to save the second half of the game?
Patrick, don't even say it. If you say it, I'm signing off right the fuck now, okay?
I'm not saying he takes over. I'm saying Jimmy G has to just come in a backup role, and then Purdy comes back like the next game, a la Drew Bledsoe in the 2001.
I would like Kyle to get creative and maybe put Christian McCaffrey under center.
Yes. That'd be good. Yeah, he's like, nah, we got it, Jimmy G. You don't have to warm up. We'll think of some creative. We don't have to throw the ball. We can just run the ball. We saw McCaffrey has thrown the ball a couple times. Don't worry about it. All right, I'm just trying to paint a scenario in case it happens that you're just not so traumatized.
Okay.
All right, I got 2 games that I oddly found myself rooting for these teams. I was rooting for Carolina against Pittsburgh, and I was rooting for Detroit against the New York Jets. Carolina
I was going to say, I hope Detroit is on your list. Let's talk about that one first.
Detroit has won, 7 in a row or something? Who knows?
6 of 7. And didn't it seem like 2 months ago we're talking about, is Dan Campbell going to
We buried him.
We buried him.
Buried Dan
and
Campbell.
Now we should be talking, is he a candidate for coach of the year? It's just, that's how quick your fortunes change in the NFL.
You were like, bro, it's just Dan Campbell doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. And I'm like, you're right. Like, we got sucked in by Hard Knocks. Like, you and I both shit on Dan Campbell. And all of a sudden, he's the belle of the ball. And I want Detroit to make the playoffs so badly. I am cheering for Detroit every single week. They beat the Jets. Goff all of a sudden is rejuvenated. Can you win? Ooh, what about this? Can you win comeback player of the year in the same year? It's usually you come back from something the year previous, but can you do it in the same year? Jared Goff sucked in the first 5 weeks, and now he's good. Comeback player of the year. What do you think?
I like it. It's possible.
Like comeback player of the year should be open to interpretation.
I remember how last year we were talking about how the Rams won that trade,
Oh
with
yeah.
Stafford. Fast forward this year, and we're ready to write off Stafford for his career. And
Stafford looks old. He's wearing sweatpants on the sideline. Jared Goff is all of a sudden throwing touchdowns. You're right.
yeah,
You're right. It is swung. Comeback player of the year,
there
Jared
you
Goff.
go.
God, I want Detroit to make these playoffs so
I do
bad.
too. I do too. Badly.
Yes.
That
They
that
win.
that city deserves a playoff team.
Yeah, I'm all in. I am all in on Detroit as bumping them up to my favorite non-favorite team besides my Raiders. Totally skippable game of the Sunday. I think you can guess what it is. Atlanta at New Orleans.
Yep, it.
Actually, no, we got two skippables. Atlanta at New Orleans, Arizona at Denver. And I'm going to tell you right now, I still don't know who won Arizona at Denver. I didn't even watch it. I have no idea what happened.
Denver ripping.
They won?
No, wait a minute.
I don't know. You're breaking news to me. I have no idea who won that game. I didn't watch it.
I thought Denver. I thought Denver did.
Okay. It also makes it extra hard because Arizona
Denver
is the Hard Knocks in season going, and you can only watch so many weeks where you're like, guys, you lose on Sunday.
Yeah.
All these little like motivational speeches. You guys are bad. You guys are a mess.
Bad, but they won with Rippin. And then the other game, what was the other unwatchable? Oh, the Falcons Saints, but
Yeah.
oddly, yes, but the loser of that game is still one game behind the division leading. Let's talk about this game. Tom Brady's Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's true. It's weird.
It's a terrible division.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 6-8 and they're leading the division.
Oh, wait, who is? New Orleans is?
No, Tampa's still winning.
Tampa Bay is. They're 6-8. They lose today.
And everyone else is 5-9.
This is what makes me worried about Tampa Bay going into the playoffs. Like they could put it together for a game and ruin someone's season. They got up early and then they pulled the total Raiders in the second half. They didn't show up for the second half. And Cincinnati gets another win. And then we don't really talk about them. They're just ripping off these wins.
Joe Burr. You're right. They're just getting they are going about their business very, very quietly. I think that's what makes them so dangerous.
Did I send you the video of Joe Montana with Joe Burrow with the sunglasses? No. Oh, I didn't?
No, send it.
I'm going to send it to you. But there's a video where Joe Montana and Joe Burrow are on a screen with some sports announcer. And they're like, all right, let's bring in Joe Montana talking last week's game with Joe Burrow. And Joe Montana goes, hold on for a second, everybody, let me get something. And he puts on the Joe Burrow sunglasses and he does the interview with the sunglasses. I'm like, we need Joe Montana in our life on a weekly basis. Why do we not have him? I think Joe Montana loves Joe Burrow too.
Yeah.
I thought I sent it to you. I'm going to resend it to you. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. We're big Joe Burrow fans.
You don't drink anymore, but I would. I want to buy some Guinness now that Joe Montana is doing Guinness ads.
Very cool.
He did Skechers a couple years ago, and now he's on to Guinness. So he's back in the cool zone, if you ask me.
I like it. He's a cool guy.
Here's an interesting game: Philadelphia at Chicago. I named this game the Battle of the Sad-Faced Quarterbacks.
I was agreed. I was just remembering when we were kids the infamous Fog Bowl. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
that's just like just a great game. That to me, that's just 80s. That just has that 80s football, the tough defenses, the Eagles and the Bears, and I thought about that today. But it was a closer game. but yeah, they still won by 5. The Eagles, not their best performance, but hey, they got a win, and they're still cruising along, and so then and headed for home field advantage throughout the playoffs, so they're fine.
Chicago did the classic. Fields had three awesome plays and lost the game. Like every
They're
single
fine.
game, he has three awesome plays, and he looks so sad on the sidelines. Like there's no like clapping it up, like let's go, guys. He always looks bummed out. I don't know. I think someone taught him that to always look upset. And it kind of bumps me out because like I want to like Fields. I want to like him as a Chicago quarterback.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
And and then same thing with Jalen Hurts. He always has a sad look on his face. But Philadelphia's rolling. They gotta be number one in the yeah, they're the number one team in the NFC.
Yeah.
Um, Kansas City at Houston went into overtime. Here's my only note: can you really be good if you have to go into overtime against Houston? This is one of those games where the team wins the game and you're like, yeah, but I think you actually lost more than you won this
Yeah,
week.
I agreed. And that is not a
So I don't know
not
what to think of
impressed.
that.
Not impressed. I was not impressed with
That was
Kansas.
not an impressive win. It was not.
Not impressive, but hey, but they got the win, and that leaves them in striking distance still to get. They're not out of it yet for a home field advantage throughout the playoffs as well. They would love that because playing in Arrowhead, January, February, that advantage Kansas City. So they're gonna make a push.
Which makes me hopeful that come Las Vegas Raiders matchup that they're going to already secured the playoff berth and they're going to say, "No, we don't care about this game," and then the Raiders can win and have a 66% chance
It's
of
always
getting into the playoffs.
possible because even if you don't get the bye, you can still use your last game to possibly lose for the better seed matchup.
Right. That could be.
That there's always something there.
Yeah, because they could be like, all right, we win, we'll play this team. We lose, we play this team. We might actually want to play the team if we lose, and thus becomes the tank for whatever matchup you want. And then the Raiders can reap the benefits.
Yeah. How about the Chargers Titans? Did we talk about that one yet?
Last game of the afternoon, Tennessee at the Chargers. That was a game. I didn't watch too much of it because I'm watching the Raiders game. And I had to remind myself that Justin Herbert is now Justin A. Bear to me.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only person to call him that, but I'm going to continue calling him that. That was the weird
This
interception game.
Yes, great interception.
Yeah, it was cool, but then my brain almost exploded with the rules explanation. Because the guy bats the ball to another teammate to get the interception, and the analyst says, like, yes, that was legal because he batted it backwards. But then this is when my brain exploded. But the defense, who's going the other way, that would actually be a forward bat, correct? But then he said, no, it's okay because it's got to go towards the line of scrimmage. And then that's when my brain shut down and I just turned the sound off. I was like, I can't figure this out right now.
Yeah,
I cannot figure this out.
but it was a great play.
Oh, such a great play. As well, it was almost like a reverse if the defense did the old Miami hook and ladder play where you catch it and you pitch it to your
Yes.
teammate. But the end of the game, Herbert throws, or
What a
sorry,
throw, huh?
Bear.
What a
Justin
throw.
Bear throws this sideline pass that like you can only appreciate it if you look at the angle from the end zone. Like I look for the angle and it's like on a rope just inching towards the sideline. The guy can do anything with
I got a
football.
question. I got a question. Do you, I mean, we were very young, but we do know about the history of Chargers quarterbacks. Dan Fouts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Philip Rivers.
Right?
Is Justin Herbert that third quarterback that just has these great stats and he's won big regular season games, but he plays for the Chargers?
Hmm.
And are they at any point in time going to be that special Super Bowl team?
Yeah. You left out Stan Humphries.
Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that.
You left out Ryan Leaf.
No, Drew Brees had to get out of that town.
Drew Brees got the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you get a deep playoff run, then you're really just middle of the road. You need playoff wins. You need a playoff run. You know, the problem with
But
the
you don't. But and you don't get the feeling that there's going to be a playoff run with the Chargers. You get the feeling that they're capable of a
yeah,
playoff run, but are they going to pull it off? And I don't think so.
they're in a spot for a playoff spot right now. But I mean, like right now, let's say week 15, are they going to make the playoffs? What do you think?
They should. I think they will.
You think they will? I think they will.
I think they
Like
will.
they are good. I think it's just a matter of them gelling at the right time because they had some bonehead losses earlier in the
Right.
year. And I think if they tighten those up, then they're a real threat. They can beat KC. They absolutely can beat Kansas
Yeah,
City.
I agree.
So I say they make the playoffs. They might be my AFC Detroit that I kind of root for
Okay.
once the playoffs get rolling. They're just more
Go.
fun every. I love that Eckler guy. He runs like it's his last play in the NFL. So that was Tennessee Chargers. On the flip side, Tennessee just looks like they have so many holes in the boat, and they're
Yeah.
whatever hot start they had. This was a really hard hitting game too.
Yeah.
Like at one point, Tannehill goes out of the game limping, and he comes back in the game, and then he goes out again limping. Like
Oh,
this was
he
like
was
a
on the first one. He was stretchered off, or
yeah,
carted off. So I thought it was worse.
this was like a Rocky Four of
Yeah.
games. Tannehill was game, but they won the game. Chargers got the last field goal, and also every playoff run has a story about the kicker, and I think they have a story about the kicker, so they're ready.
Crazy.
I'll drink to that. All right, did we get all the games? I can't even remember.
Yeah.
It's just been such
You
a
got them all. I checked.
it's been such a fog since the Raiders won the craziest ending. Like, what crazier endings have we had in the NFL other than that? That is nuts. I can't think of a crazier ending right now other than a scoop fumble or a pick six. Remember that Seahawks Green Bay playoff game where Hasselback says, "We want the ball, we're going to score," and throws a pick
Pick
six.
six. That was bad.
That's
That
a
was
crazy
bad.
ending. All right, so we did the games. That brings us to the weekly challenge. This week, I have a challenge for you called the MVP challenge.
Okay.
Omar Carmona, I'm going to give you some questions. We're coming to the end of the season. We're tallying up our votes for MVP of the season. So, I've got a few questions for you. See if you can answer these. Let's start with one. I know your love of the Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, but do you know how many times has Aaron Rodgers won league MVP?
Shit. 3.
3 MVPs is your answer. Aaron Rodgers has won the league MVP 4 times.
4. Wow. I thought
Four.
I was between 2 and 3.
I was surprised too. I thought, oh, he won it last year and maybe one more time. He's won
Yeah.
4
4.
MVPs, which almost seems like a curse because he's won the one Super Bowl 10 plus years ago
Yeah.
and nothing since. 4 MVPs, one Super Bowl, almost very like Charles Barkley like. Just can't get that win. Next question. This is a yes or no question. Has he ever gotten the MVP? Randall Cunningham.
No.
Randall Cunningham.
Wait.
Oh, you're second guessing yourself.
I'm second guessing this one.
Think back. You had Philadelphia Randall Cunningham.
He had some good.
You had Resurgence, Minnesota
years.
Vikings. Randall Cunningham.
I'm pretty sure it was not. It was not the Vikings. It would have been. I'm gonna say the 1990 MVP Randall Cunningham.
So you're a yes.
I'm a yes.
The answer is no. Randall
Okay.
Cunningham has never won an MVP. All right, next question. This is a head-to-head question. Who has won more MVPs? Peyton Manning or Brett Favre?
He had that big season in Denver where he for sure won the MVP. I am going to say Brett. I'll go. Trick question. They're tied.
Oh, you think I would throw a trick question at you? You're going to go with they're tied, huh?
I'm going to go with they're tied.
All right. Peyton Manning has won 5 MVPs.
Oh, Favre hasn't won 5.
Brett Favre has won 3
Yeah.
MVPs. So
I,
Peyton
I I
Manning,
I thought they were tied at 3. Shit, I had no idea Peyton had 5.
it's a lot of MVPs.
That seems like a lot.
By the way, did you watch soccer this morning? Did you get up for
I
soccer?
did.
Yeah, that was nuts. That
That
really
was
kicked off the sports Sunday was soccer.
and what a and I you only hope that people pay attention because it is probably the best. I mean, obviously you and I are football guys, so for us the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl. That's the holy grail of.
Yeah.
But the fact that the World Cup is done every 4 years, that a player in his prime can come close and then may never get back again, regardless of how successful that player is. Just being that it's every 4 years, I wish that it was just a more popular sport here in the States. I really do.
Sorry, I blacked out. I didn't hear anything you just said. Are you ready for the next question?
Are you drunk?
No, I watched soccer too. I enjoyed it. And I'm going to write a book and it's titled Pat Fixes Soccer Inside of 5 Minutes.
Okay.
What sport do you know where the players have no idea how much time is left in the game?
That's
And
crazy, right?
this is an easy fix. It's an easy, get a fucking stopwatch, put it up there. And then I will say, like, it was so exciting. The last 5 minutes of that game,
Yeah.
you could not turn away. That one dude for France who scored all the goals, he was having a full on Reggie Miller moment.
Yeah.
Where he was just on fire. It's like, get him a touch, get him the ball. And then I asked, like, can you set screens in soccer? Like, can you do like a pick play in soccer? Like, whatever it takes, get him the ball. And there was a point in the overtime where I kind of got bored again and tuned out. But then we went to penalty kicks, and I thought it was a great end to it. Like, whatever you want to say about penalty kicks is a weird way to end, but it had to end. We have to end this game somehow, some way. And that was awesome. I like that Argentina won. Like, I feel like France snuck in there. Argentina what got down.
Dude.
Like they took a serious.
They almost went full Matt Ryan.
Yeah, they took a serious 10-8 round where they got knocked down hard, and they had to rebound.
Yeah, that was
and
tough.
I like that it kicked off the Sports Sunday. So good job, soccer. You're on my good side. All right, back to the MVP challenge. The last defensive player to win MVP was Lawrence Taylor in 1986. He got 48.8% of the votes. Who was second place?
In 86?
1986, Lawrence Taylor won the MVP.
Joe Montana.
Second place was 17% of the votes. Eric Dickerson.
Wow.
Tough one. That's a tough question.
You stumped me today.
That was a tough one. Next question. 2003 and 1997 were the only years that 2 players tied for the MVP. Can you name any of these 4 players? Start with 2003.
Repeat the question.
2003 and 1997 both had co-winners of league MVP. Can you name the 4 players?
97 and 2003.
Correct.
Okay. 93 was Peyton Manning.
2003.
2003. I'm sorry. 2003 was Peyton Manning and Aaron McNair. Okay.
Wow, you nailed it. That is exactly right. Steve McNair and Peyton Manning both won MVP 2003. How'd you know that?
I just remember that was a co-MVP and that was a tough decision.
Wow.
Okay, and then 97.
1997. Cast yourself back to 97. A young Omar Carmona in his teenage years contemplating life.
I was a junior in high school that season. The Denver Broncos
Probably just got your driver's license.
The Denver Broncos won that Super Bowl.
Contemplating the SATs.
Hold on. I don't think it was Elway. Although I think I don't think it was Elway. I'm going to say Brett Favre I was a guess only. Brett Favre and Steve Young.
Brett Favre was one.
Ah.
Barry Sanders is the other. Wow.
Oh.
You went 3 out of 4 on that one. I thought that was going to stump you for sure. Wow. Brett Favre and Barry Sanders. All right. Last question in the MVP challenge.
To be honest, Brett Favre seemed more likely. Steve Young, I thought was a reach. That was the one I was least confident.
Steve Young's won one MVP before, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Last question. Dan Marino, Steve Young, Randy Moss, O.J. Simpson. Who has never won an MVP of those names?
Randy Moss.
You got it. The answer is Randy Moss has never won the MVP. That was the MVP challenge. You did pretty good. MVP challenge. Now, I got a special treat for you this week, Omar.
Okay.
You know, we usually do the awards here, but I've compiled a few things that I think are worthy of listening to. So, first, let me make sure my audio is on so you can hear it. Yep. As you know, we've been doing this show this is our 3rd season. This year, you know, I went back and listened to a few of the episodes. We have some interesting sound bites. I'm going to play a few for you. And we're going to play the sound bite, and I want to get your reaction to it. Here's sound bite number 1.
Okay. The season is over. Oh.
That is you from week 3 saying the season is over. Why did you say that? What was going on there week 3?
It was about my 49ers, wasn't it?
Yes. The 49ers lost, and you completely buried them, said the season is over.
I think that was probably the worst. I forgot who they played. I just remember I was very upset at Jimmy G.
Let me hear that again.
The season is over.
Listen to your voice. You sound so despondent and disdain.
Yeah, it was over.
Yep. All right. That was, you've come a long way. Now you're wearing Christmas sweaters and wearing dark glasses, and you're buying Brock Purdy jerseys.
Big Brock guy.
Next clip. All right, let's listen to this one.
It's all bullshit. Meditation doesn't work.
I don't remember what context you said that, but that seems like it seems like you were on something that day.
I don't remember that context either.
Yeah, I don't either, because you're a big meditation guy. I don't know what's going on.
It's all bullshit. Meditation doesn't work.
Maybe that was after a 49ers loss and you were second guessing everything in your own life. Next clip. Every year there's one team that says fuck it. That was me.
Okay, yeah.
That sounds like I was week 4 or week 5.
Okay.
I don't know which team I was talking about though. What could I have been talking about with that team?
That I wouldn't know.
Who could that have been though? Like what team would have said fuck it? Maybe I was talking Detroit Lions at the time.
I was about to say maybe you're thinking Jets.
Oh, could have been Jets, yeah. Every year there's one team that says fuck it. I could have been like fast forward, like we could give that to the Colts.
Right.
Like, yeah, come on in, Jeff Saturday, coach a few games. You know when like a Division III college like fires their coach or a coach quits and like the principal or the dean takes over coaching?
Yeah.
That's the feeling I have with the Colts right now. It's like, teacher, geometry teacher, why don't you coach for a while? Next clip.
Kind of like the Beverly Hills Bordello.
We were
That's
talking
you.
about I like how my voice got a little deeper there.
Yeah, you were right on the mic for that one.
Yeah. That we were talking about late nights watching Cinemax.
Yeah, we're talking about B movie skin flicks.
Yes.
Kind of like the Beverly Hills Bordello.
What was the Beverly Hills Bordello? I'm trying to think.
That was one that had like a bunch of mini. It was like a movie, but it was like a bunch of mini movies inside the movie.
Oh,
different.
really?
Yeah.
Huh. And there was like, what was it on? It was on HBO or something?
Yeah.
What was the Beverly Hills part of it?
I think it was HBO or like Cinemax.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, like you would see that like, back in the day we didn't have like guides, so we couldn't know what the TV schedule was. So like you would just have like a little in between, and HBO would say like tonight at 11, the Beverly Hills Bordello, and you'd be like, oh shit, let's watch it at 11. You would just have to plan on the fly like that.
Yep.
That was you. Next clip.
Real sex or simulated sex?
That is my brother Andrew
Yep.
for our kitchen podcast. I don't know I don't remember anything of what's going on in that clip. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know who he's talking to at all. Let's hear it again.
Real sex or simulated sex?
I don't know what he's talking about there. We're going to have to get a ruling on that come Christmas vacation. And one more clip. God damn it, Raiders. You are so bad. I want to watch this. That was me.
That's you.
That was me circa week. Well, you could really say circa week 3 through 11.
Yeah, probably.
God damn it, Raiders. You are so bad. I want to watch this. I hear it in my voice.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to be a part of anything Raiders at that moment. All right. That was some drops from throughout the year. More to come. I thought I'd add that in there. All right. That brings us to the weekly awards. We do them every week. This week, first award, the Overbearing Parent Award. I've got one totally non-football related. So if you want to go first, I give you the floor.
World Cup soccer. That they won the week. I mean, they won the week in sports, even on a.
No, we're at Overbearing Parent Award. We're not at Who Won the Week.
Oh shit!
You jumped the gun.
Overbearing Parent Award. That look on Belichick's face with that receiver throwing the ball cross field. That's got to be the overbearing parent. He must have he took his belt out and probably whooped him a few times on the team plane back.
Yeah, I always want to have the constant camera of the backup quarterback on the sideline, but I would want a Belichick constant camera as well.
That was brutal.
Also with like coaches watching the Sunday night game, I think Ron Rivera has the best disappointed father look than any coach out. He looks so serious, and he's just like has this like these dead eyes, and he's got like the dad like glasses.
But he had a gripe today to lose that way today.
Mm-hmm.
He had a gripe.
Yeah. Well, that's the point. Like he has a purpose for his disappointed dad look, and also he had a pretty stylish scarf on tonight too. I don't know if you noticed that. My Overbearing Parent Award goes to pretty much every single parent going into this Christmas week. Like, you're the parent, you got kids, you got family, you got gifts, you've got parties to attend. Like, you need to take a moment and not get stressed out, parents. Take a moment, don't let it get to you. Don't drink too much, but you got to have some drinks to mellow out. Don't let the family member piss you off. Don't get in a fight with the coworker. Don't have politics arguments Christmas Eve. So parents, you're getting the Overparenting Award this week. Just chill out. Enjoy the week. We're in the calm before the storm right now. So know that going in.
Okay.
All right. Next award, the Hot Take Award. I give a hot take every week. This might be the hottest take I've ever given. My hot take this week is I think the Cowboys are going to make the Super Bowl. I think they're going to make it. I think losing equals playoff run late in the season.
You're out of your damn mind.
I told you it was hot. I told you it was a hot take.
Yeah, that's a hot take. That's nothing but bullshit.
I told you it was hot.
I was at your folks' house.
Were you?
And obviously always bumping into Tony. Man, that guy's a Cowboy fan.
Oh yeah, my cousin's husband.
Yeah, dude.
What goes on with what do you think is going on in Cowboys fans' brains right now?
I'll tell you what he said. He was very blunt. He said that his Super Bowl is next weekend. He says that if Dallas does not win, they might as well pack up and go home.
That's true. Cowboys fans are angry at the Cowboys a lot of times. Remember those dark cowboy years, like in the late to early 2000s? I
Yeah.
witnessed a fight between my uncle and one of my cousins, but they weren't fighting. They were fighting over how bad the Cowboys were. Like the Cowboys were playing, and one was like, they suck. They have no receivers. And my other uncle was like, nah, it's not the receivers, it's the coaching. And the other one was like, nah, it's the defense. And then the other one was like, why don't you just go home if you're gonna complain the whole day? They had a fight over how bad the Cowboys were.
But also, what expectations would the Cowboys have if Chad Hutchinson is in a quarterback controversy with Quincy Carter?
Quincy Carter years were dark. Those were dark.
They were dark. But
those were dark.
But yeah, that is a hot take.
Maybe we took it for granted those early '90s Cowboys years in El Paso. Like that was just our utopia of living. Everybody was. Remember how I remember going to church, and the priest would end the sermon with, "You may now go in peace. Go Cowboys."
Yeah,
I remember those days.
But my hot take is going to be Chris Berman finally gets his Super Bowl, and it's the Bills 49ers.
Oh, did he always pick that Super Bowl matchup in the 90s?
The Schwam would always pick those.
Omar Carmona, let me be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
I should open the show with that. Maybe we should next week, because I'm going to be in town for the holidays for a few days. Yeah. We should do a reading of The Night Before Christmas, Chris Berman style. Let's do it. Let's record it. Next award, Cringeworthy award for the week. My award goes to this whole Arizona Hard Knocks series on HBO. It is bad. Every week, it's Kyle Kingsbury going, here we go. 1 week at a time. Guys, we put it behind us. We start fresh. Everybody does their job. Yeah. We will achieve. It's so bad at this point. It's like, dude, no one believes you anymore.
You know what? I gotta. We'll add this to the hot takes on the Kingsbury. If a good college program opens up in the next week or two, Kingsbury quits the Cardinals. And
you think he quits?
Yeah, because he'll get a bigger contract somewhere else.
I could totally see it.
Yeah, he'll do that.
I could see it.
And he.
What was your hot take again? I forgot.
Bills 49ers.
Oh yeah, Bills 49ers.
Bourbon Bowl. The Bourbon Bowl. Oh, and then we got to get him back in the booth if the Bourbon Bowl happens. All right, Cringeworthy award. What do you got? Cringeworthy. Just like the Colts choking 30 0. How can you not cringe?
Oh, that whole second half was bad. It was bad. At some point, Arthur Blank came onto the sidelines like, what are you doing here, Arthur Blank? You own the Falcons, not the Colts. Next question. The would you rather, and this is specific to this week. Would you rather, Omar, Jared Goff or Dak Prescott? Right now, you got to choose one.
Jared Goff.
Oh, really? Why? Hot hand?
I think Dak is that bad right now.
He had good stats. He just had the bad throw at the end, which maybe is the worst part of the stat, actually.
I don't think he can lead a team to win. Yes, he was good stat-wise today.
He had a couple good runs, too, where he was like ducking his head down there and taking hits, but it was a tough loss. I'm going to stick with Dak just because I picked the Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl in my hot take.
Loser.
Next award, the Ethan Hunt You've Never Seen Me Upset Award. I have 3 movies this week. Number 1 movie, I picked Collateral because it seems like all the bad guys won this week. It seems like the Raiders won, the Minnesota Vikings come back from way behind, the Jaguars won, and Tom Cruise is a bad guy in that movie. Then I got Rock of Ages, a secretly really bad Tom Cruise movie. And I think that's this week. This was just so chaotic. And then finally I got Interview with a Vampire because you kind of root for the vampires in that movie. And this week we rooted for all the underdogs. All the underdogs were who I was going for. Detroit, Jacksonville, the Raiders. I rooted for them. So those are my 3 movies. I'm inclined to go with Collateral because I'm a big Michael Mann fan, rooting for the bad guy.
Okay. I'm going to go with yours. I like those.
What do you think's the best one?
Collateral.
Yeah, you're not a big Michael Mann guy though. You're not a full Collateral fan, are you?
It was okay. It was okay.
Really? Yeah, you don't get down with the Michael Mann movies.
Yeah.
Not even like Heat? You don't like Heat?
You know what? I did appreciate. Sometimes I forget that is same, but I did love Heat.
Yeah, Michael Mann is Heat, Collateral, Miami Vice. Those are the big three. I like that Miami Vice one too.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'm turning you on Michael Mann then.
Nah, I didn't like the Miami Vice.
What?
Nah.
It's cool. All right. Who won the week? You know, I'm going to add a special category. Who lost the week? Matt Ryan for yet another horrible comeback loss. But that's not what the award is. The award is who won the week. And I have a lot of nominees this week. I have comebacks / endings to games, teams on the cusp like your Detroit Lions, snowballs, and how about fuck ups? Maybe fuck ups won the week. We had teams giving up a big pass like the Tennessee one, KC having to go into overtime, the Patriots, Dak's interceptions, Indianapolis's collapse. So maybe fuck ups won the week. What do you think?
The World Cup won the week.
Oh, right. You said World Cup. You think so, huh?
Yeah, they won the week.
All right. I'm going to go with fuck ups. I think fuck ups won the week. All right. That was the awards for the week. However, as you know, Omar, the week is not over because we have a Monday night game. And this game definitely seems like a game that looked great on paper in September. Do you know who the game is tomorrow?
Wow. Remind me.
Monday night, we have the LA Rams go into Green Bay.
That would have. You're right. I had seen that.
Here are the Monday night questions. Is there any hope for either of these teams?
Who cares?
Would you ever go to a game in Lambeau in December?
I would.
You would, really?
I would.
You're not a cold weather guy, though. You don't know how brutal.
You got to take that off the bucket list.
All right. Are you prepared for cold weather? Like, you know what you would take?
No, I'd have to study.
Okay. Baker Mayfield, in or out?
In.
Wow, in.
Yeah.
See, you don't like the flashy quarterbacks. That's why this surprises me.
Yeah, but in because the Rams are desperate right now.
All-time favorite Ram.
Eric Dickerson, Ram.
All-time favorite Packer.
Brett Favre.
Really? Favre. You're surprising me with your quarterback picks. At what time Christmas Day do you just check out?
10 o'clock in the morning.
10 in the morning? Really? So you do the presents, you do the whole thing, and you're already done? You're done for the day at 10 in the morning?
Done.
Wow. And finally, pick the game.
Oh, shit.
Do I need to remind you who's playing? Rams and Packers?
Rams 29, Packers 21.
All right. Well, we did it all. We did big picture. We talked early games, late games, even Saturday games. You almost are on the cusp of buying a Brock Purdy jersey. We did the awards and the Monday night questions. Omar Carmona for week 15 in the NFL. Christmas week. Are you pumped? I'm going to be in town.
Yeah, let's get together.
All right, let's do it. See you next week. Okay, that is it. That is the episode. That is the Sunday Night Talk for week 15. Wow, what a week. What a Raiders win. What a Dallas loss. How about my hot take? I might have had too much champagne when I thought of that. Oh, I don't care. The Raiders won. Finally, a little luck our way. And we're talking a 13% chance of making the playoffs right now. I don't know how you feel, but I like those odds. How about Carmona? He's actually going to buy a Brock Purdy jersey. Well, we'll see. I'm going to have a talk with him. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, if you're new to Running It Back, give it a subscribe. It really helps. The channel is growing, and you can be a part of it. All the videos are on there for your enjoyment. So, the Sunday Night Talk, we talked about it all. We talked about Ron Rivera's stylish scarf. We talked about the questionable Raiders touchdown call. We talked about Justin Herbert's laser arm. And finally, we talked about the 49ers and how they're getting hot. To wrap it all up, we talked about a lot of shit. Thanks for listening, everybody. This was the Sunday Night Talk for week 15. Enjoy Christmas, and I will talk to you soon.